Hi girls, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I'm Khadijah. If you're new here, we're getting into the Feminine Survival Guide. This is a new signature series that I'm starting where we discuss all things girlhood, relationships, sex, friendships, just real things in life that as girls we're going through and experiencing. So with that being said, let's get into the first episode, which is sex, self-confidence, and single AF. Also, if you're at this point, be sure to like, share, and subscribe down below so you can stay tuned in for every time I post another video. Let's do it. The first question says, do you think women actually enjoy casual sex or is it more hype than reality? Damn. Okay, so before I answer the question, let me go in and tell you guys what I use to prep my skin. I started out with using a face mask from the brand Papa Recipe. It was their Bombi Honey Mask Pack. And then I also did some under eye strips. What are they called? Yeah, I used some hydrating under eye patches. And then I'm gonna go in, I always love using this. I'm gonna go in with this Bea Hydrating and Setting Mist. Oof. So honestly, I feel both ways about this. I know there's women out there who love casual sex. Like they enjoy doing it. They enjoy just like, you know, having like the one night stand or just like when they meet a guy, like they're down to have sex with them. And I feel like it's not just hype. I think that women enjoy casual sex, period. Not me personally, that's not my vibe. But I know a good amount of women that do like casual sex. I've had friends that that's been their jam. Me saying I've had friends. But no, seriously, like I've known women and like they'll share like their experience about sex. I feel like these days especially, women are very open about like sex and like their escapades. So yeah, I feel like there's a fair share of women that love casual sex, but I don't think it's overhyped. I feel like especially in this society, like women, they don't want to like rid themselves of like their own needs and like what they need, what they have going on. And they're like, no, like, come on, dropped in the jaws. Thank you. You know, everybody doesn't want a relationship. Everybody doesn't want that serious, deep connection with a person. So, yeah, everybody doesn't want something serious. So I definitely don't think it's just like hype pretty much. Okay, we're gonna go in with this Lumi Lotion. I'm just gonna add this on like the normal parts of my face that I would wear when I used to wear highlighter. I used to wear highlighter back in the day. I haven't worn highlighter in oh my goodness. I haven't worn highlighter in a really, really long time, but this is in the shade 904 Deep Glow. So we're just gonna add that. The next question says, what's the boldest thing you've ever done to feel sexy? The boldest thing I've ever done? Damn. What is the boldest thing I've ever done to feel sexy? Maybe I would say like gone to, I think it like feeling sexy kind of is like a personal thing, obviously. But I'm trying to think, maybe like gone to like a sex store. But I only went to the sex store for like a Halloween costume and they had like cute stuff. Or maybe, I don't know, what's another thing? I would say, okay, so I loved Rihanna's like Savage X Fenty line that she had, and like she had some really cute like lingerie. I feel like the quickest way, most efficient way to feel sexy is like elevating your lingerie and loving like what's under your clothes, because I feel like what's under your clothes makes you just feel like that girl. It makes you feel just so in touch with yourself and just feeling all like the sexy vibe. So I feel like lingerie is definitely the first place I've always started when I wanted to feel like sexy and feel really confident. Like a nice like lacy bra or like, you know, something cut out, just something very cute, that, or sexy, whatever, that's my vibe. The next question says, do you actually like being single or is it just a PR move? Okay, so yes, I am single. I am single as a Pringle. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. Like, I am in my very single era right now. For those of you guys who are wondering. Okay, am I ready to go into this yet? I think I'm gonna go, yeah, I'll go in with this. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte. So, yes, I am single. And is it a PR move? What's the question? The question says, oh, do you actually like being single or is it just a PR move? I think, to be honest, I feel like some days I'm happy I'm single. Some days I am happy that I'm single, and then other days I'm just like, I'm, you know, just like any normal person, like, you're like, I want somebody to cuddle with, you want someone to like, you know, go on special dates with and like all the things. But then there's other days that genuinely, like when I'm really busy like with school and like, because I just have so much going on, I'm happy. Like, I'm not thinking like, oh my gosh, like cry me a river. But I think it's more so just like in certain moments when you're just like, oh, like it would just be nice to kind of like share this with someone. But I would say like 80% of the time, I'm happy I'm single. Just because like this is just the era that I'm in, and I feel like I'm not like if I wanted to go be in a relationship, I know I could. That's the thing, you know? So I'm not like, oh, like this sucks. But it's just kind of also like, you know, you don't want to just like be in a relationship with anybody. But I don't think it's just like a PR move. Like, I'm not like, I love my, like pretending I love my life and then like actually hate it and I wish like I was in a relationship. Like, I have a lot of like good friends that are in relationships, that are married, and I genuinely am so happy for them. Like, knowing that like they have like their person in their life brings me so much happiness. But I'm not like, oh, I wish that was me, blah blah blah, you know what I mean? Because I feel like when you're not happy with your situation, it's really easy for you to go and like change it. And to be honest, like I don't put myself out there to date right now. So yeah. Okay, back to the sex questions. It says, do you think it's harder for women to say no than yes? I guess this is like a question when it comes to like sex, because it's like, okay, if a woman is like involved, like, do you think it's hard for her to say no to somebody and like turn them down? And I would really hope not. I would hope and pray that every woman feels very confident to say, no, this is not my vibe, I'm not interested in this, and not feel like they owe somebody something. I know from my personal experience, I've always been the, no, not yet, or no, not ever, or fuck no, you know? But yeah, I hope that everybody feels very empowered to say no. Don't ever feel like if you're in a situation where you're entertaining somebody or you feel like they're getting the vibes but you're just not sure, I feel like that's a big indicator that you're just not ready yet. And it's okay to say no and not take that next step, because like obviously once you have sex with somebody, like you can't undo it. Or once you're like sexually involved or doing anything, or if they try to like persuade you like, oh, let me just like do this, or like, you know, trying to just get a little filler, if you're not ready, like please God, just say no. Like, it's never that serious. That man is gonna be okay and he will find somebody else, because it's not that deep at the end of the day. We're using the hourglass in blacks, so I'm just gonna put a few dots along my face. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and then I'm gonna go in with my contour too. Okay, next question. This one says, do you think men can tell when a woman is confident versus insecure? Okay, I used to not believe what I believe now, but I know 100% men can tell when you're insecure. Men can tell when you're people can tell when you're insecure, but a man, baby, the way they pay attention, the way they can read a woman, they can be like, she's insecure as fuck. Like, they know. They study themselves, they study other men, and they study women. And if a woman is insecure, they can read her like a freaking book. So, yeah. And I feel like same with confidence. Like, I've been told, like, oh my gosh, like, you're so confident, like, blah, blah, blah. And there's been times in my life when I have been told, like, oh my gosh, like, you're insecure. And that shit fucking hurt. When I was told that, I was like, me? But it was not from like, it was from a freaking boyfriend, and that shit was just, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, fuck you. Because I think that there's ways for people to make you, to like want to make you be insecure. And I feel like if you feel like you're in a relationship where somebody is trying to like get in your head and make you feel insecure, you're obviously in the wrong relationship, because why are you trying to test my security? Which is very weird. But with that being said, you still have to work on your confidence as a woman in a relationship or out of a relationship. But regardless, any guy that you're talking to or dating, he's gonna know your level of confidence and your level of insecurity just by how you speak and by how you talk about yourself and all the things. And I think it's very normal for people to have insecurities. That is like the number one thing. Just because you're a confident woman doesn't mean that you don't have insecurities. But also being an insecure woman doesn't mean that like your confidence or like your fake confidence or whatever it is overshining all the insecure, like if you're just an insecure woman in general. But being a confident woman through and through, there's just going to be like different things about you where it's like, okay, she experiences some insecurities, but her presence and how she moves through a room and how she carries herself is just like, she's that girl. Let's do my, this is the Patrick Ta and a dual browning palette, and she's chiseled. I'm just gonna add some here, there, and on my forehead. All right, let's get into the next question. It says, what's your biggest ick when it comes to men? Okay, I'll say my biggest ick, and then I'll say my biggest, I guess, thing that makes me like the person. I don't know how to say that. My biggest ick when it comes to men. That's a good question. I would probably say someone that's not like a gentleman, like someone that is very just like, he's just like all up in his own like selfish world, and he's not just like thinking about like you as a woman. Like if a man is like too caught up in his own self to where it's like he feels like when you guys are like walking together, he like walks ahead of you and he's like just like the star of the show, and he's not like thinking of you and just like being like, just having your utmost like safety and care in mind, and just like treating you like a lady, like a woman. A woman should always be like walking in front of her man, like her man should like want that, you know? But not like by force. And when I say walking in front, I more so mean like, I hope y'all understand, but it's kind of like if you're walking with your man and he's like walking into a room and he's like super ahead of you, and like he's not allowing you to be just like a few steps in front of him, he's like watching your back type of thing. That is so disgusting to me. Like that is not a real man to me. Like he should never just be like walking ahead of you and you're just like following behind like a little puppy dog. Like your man, like a real man, is always going to be like behind you just a bit, or beside you, of course, but never in front of you. Because how can he protect you if he's walking behind you? Like, hello? So that's a really big ick of mine. I hate when I see that with other people. Like I literally have witnessed that time and time and time again. I'm like, I already know what type of dynamic this is when I see the man is walking in front of the woman. Because a real man can literally lead from any part of the thing. He don't have to just show that has to walk in front of you, trust me. Okay, and then the thing that I like most in a man or my man, I do like a leader. And like I said, like I feel like a leader is kind of a similar thing. A leader can be any space and he can lead. But I like a leader that is just very like respectful in his delivery. Like I love when a man is so sweet to me and like talks to me like a princess, and he is just very gentle, but also like if he has like a message, he's very firm in it, and he's very like serious, and he's not like joking around. I just like a man that is very masculine and knows how to like lead me, how to communicate. There's so many things, but I love someone that just like lets me know like, this is your world, like I am here to like serve you and to take care of you and do all the things. I love that masculinity. But yeah, he just also like knows how to speak to you and like how to communicate and all those things. So that is my favorite. Okay, next question says, what's the most underrated turn on? I feel like this is kind of like a similar question to before, but the most underrated turn on, I would say like opening your car door or like pulling out your seat when you're at a restaurant. I feel like when a man like puts me somewhere, he's like, like go to this seat, like sit here, or he like tells me like what to do a little bit. I feel like that is such a turn on. Like I love when my man is just like, sit down, sit right here. I'm like, oh, let me sit right here, you know? I love that. Or like, obviously, like if I sit at a restaurant and he's like pushing in my chair, or he's like opening my door and he's just like making sure that I'm like sat or seated. Or, okay, this is another one. But if we're like at a restaurant and, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I just love when someone like is like feeding me, or they're like, no, you have to try this, or just, I don't know. I love like, I just love authority. I love when my man has a little bit of authority, because like I'm a bossy girl, okay? I have a little bit of, I like to have some control, all right? Not too much to where it's like overbearing, but I like to be able to call the shots in some capacity, especially in my day-to-day life. So I feel like when a man has like the utmost authority, I let him have it, and I love to just sit and like listen, because it's like I don't have to always like be thinking, and I know like I'm in his care. Like I can't date somebody that I don't feel safe around. Like if I don't feel like my man can literally like smack the shit out of somebody if somebody gets out of hand or talks to me wrong. Not that he would ever have to do that, you guys, please understand. But like if he not trying to do that, I just don't feel like that's my man, you know? But also like he needs to be the type of man like people respect him. When he walks in the room, they're like, we respect, you know? So I would say all those are underrated, at least in my eyes. Okay, next question says, what's your go-to I know I look good outfit? Go-to I know I look good. I would say a black dress. A black dress. A girl in black. She's sleek, she's confident, she's the moment. I just feel like anytime I wear black, I know I look sexy and just like her, and like there's still a level of me that has like that level of like mystique, and yeah, it just gives like black cat energy. I love a black dress. I was born in October, which is like one of the fucking spookiest. My birthday is 2 days before Halloween, if that gives you any level of indication of why I love a black outfit. But yeah, I think whenever I put a black dress on, I'm just like, you're that bitch, you know? It's just giving very much, yeah, thank you. I'm gonna add on a little bit of this Chanel. This is actually I think it's foundation, but I'm using it as a bit of a concealer. Yeah, I'm gonna use a little bit and put it under my eyes. I'm gonna let it sit. Thank you. This one says, what's the worst date you've ever been on? Well, thank you for asking. The worst date that I've ever been on has been, well, I don't even know if it's like the worst date actually, because I feel like I've been on a lot of really good dates, but I feel like I just didn't like the person. And we had went to this like restaurant, and like they had the game on in the restaurant, and he was just like really into the game and like not paying me any attention, and I already was like not feeling the guy too much, like, so I was just kind of like, why did I agree to this type of thing? And I was just like, I'm not feeling this. Like every time I think of worst date, I think of him, because I'm like, why the fuck did I agree to go on this goddamn date? Like it was just like, ew. And then he wanted to order dessert, and I'm just like, but I don't want to be here anymore. At that time, I was being polite, or whatever you want to call it. So I was like, okay, let's get dessert. And if you know me, I love getting dessert. So I usually would be like, oh my gosh, like what do they have? Blah, blah. I was like, sure. So he picked something, and then he just wants to still sit and like watch the game. And I'm just like, and then he wanted to like spend more time after the date. I said, no, you're going to take me home. I'm going home. I'm not staying with you any longer. You're fucking boring. And he literally had nothing to say. And I am the biggest conversationalist. Like if you have good conversation, good banter, I'm like, like let's talk, let's discuss. What are your thoughts, your theories on life? This man, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nothing. He had nothing to say. I was like, yeah, take me home. I'm pretty sure I literally never responded to him. It's like, I feel like in those instances, like if I don't text back, it's like, this is not even me ghosting you. You should understand that this shit was whack as hell and that there was no energy here. And you should know that like, you're just never gonna hear from me ever again. Goodbye. There's just some situations, it's like, why are we even trying to drag this out and make it more than what it is? I feel nothing. Au revoir, you know? So that was my feelings towards that. Okay, I'm gonna add on some blushy though. This is the e.l.f. It's giving guava. Okay, so the next question says, okay, this one says, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice about having sex, what would it be? I would tell her to wait. I would be like, babe, trust me, it's not worth the wait. And it's funny because I literally have younger sisters, and I'd be like, please God, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's not worth it. I would probably tell her to wait, and I would also tell her it's overhyped and it's just never that serious, you know? But I would tell her if she was really felt like she was ready, I would tell her to still wait. But then I would be like, make sure you're safe and make sure this is a person that loves you and cares about you and someone that you can genuinely like feel like can keep their fucking mouth shut. That's what I would say. I would say that. But I would say, please God, just wait, because it's just not that serious. Like, it's never that serious. If somebody cares about you, they're gonna wait. If they can see the rest of their life with you, what's the rush? What's the rush? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, let's blend out this concealer. We're gonna blend it out a little bit with a brush, and then I'm gonna go in with what's the name? A beauty blender. What's something you used to be embarrassed about but now embrace? There's multiple things that comes to mind, but I'll go like, I would say beauty wise. I feel like I used to be embarrassed about like some of my features, like my teeth, and I would say my nose was something that I really felt embarrassed about. especially growing up, I feel like a lot of people used to openly try to bully me about my teeth and about my nose when I was younger. And I even had gotten some comments about like my arm hair, which I'm like, bitch, I barely fucking have any arm hair. But kids were mean as hell in middle school. They were mean as hell in middle school, in high school. But with my teeth, I feel like that was just something I just had to experience because my parents, they did not have no money to keep me going to my braces appointments. And there was a point where like I literally was obsessed with like chewing ice. And then my brackets broke off, or whatever the fuck the wire things are called. They had broken off. Wait, I need my beauty blender. And I was just feeling very like embarrassed about my braces situation. And then my nose was something that I like always kind of got picked on about. But that's something that I was like, I can't even really change that. And so I feel like over the years, I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's just a nose. It's not that serious. And also, I feel like my features are very unique to me. And so I just like embrace those. And then for my teeth, well, bitch, look now. I got fucking 30 bands in my fucking teeth. No, I'm just kidding. They're not 30 bands. But, like, I feel like I just realized there's certain things that you can fix and there's certain things you can't fix. So when I realized I have like the privilege and the power to fix things like my teeth, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But like things like my nose, I mean, like obviously like I could get my nose done. And it's something I definitely thought about for so long. And there's weeks where I'm like, would I get my nose done still? And there's weeks that I'm like, hell no. Because y'all, there's some people that come out so botched. And like, on black people, I feel like getting noses that look very European can just make you look crazy as hell. Giving like fucking like Michael Jackson respectfully. But RIP to that legend, I'm sorry. But I'm just like, I can't, like, I don't want to look cray cray. So, but there's also, obviously there's lots of like educated doctors out there, plastic surgeons that know what they're doing. But also it's not on like the highest list of my priorities for my procedures, because at the same time I'm like, I love my face. Like, so I think it's just one of those things like that I come up and I'm just like, what is something I would do? But then it's not at the top of my list of things like I have to get done, because like I said, I've grown to love it and I don't feel embarrassed by it, because I'm like, literally, it's funny, like my mom or somebody, my aunt, they sent me a picture of like one of my great grandmothers. When I tell you guys, I have her exact face. I was like, jaw dropped, because I was like, oh my gosh, like that's me. That's literally me. I saw me in this woman. So it was really cool to experience that. And I was just like, this is like, I have the same face as my ancestors, and that shit is fucking cool to me. This one says, do you think it's better to date for fun or to only date when you're ready for something serious? Well, Miss Mama, I feel like both. Because, well, it says which one is better. Which one is better? It's to date for something serious, for sure. I feel like dating something serious, it can hurt sometimes. You're like, bitch, I thought this was my husband. Why are you acting like this? But I feel like it's better to date for something serious, because it's more fun when you're in love. Like when you're in love, it's so fun. It's just like, my man, like I feel like it's always gonna be better to be a lover girl. Okay, wait, we're gonna go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Blur Perfection, and this is in the shade Pink. You gotta give her a little pat on the butt, okay? But yeah, like who wouldn't want to date for something serious? Like I feel like that is so fun, and just like it's like the idea that you guys are just like two big kids and you're getting to just truly experience one another and be in love and just love life and all the things, like I feel like that's amazing, and I love the idea of being in love. I'm actually gonna use this shade and see what this is like under my eyes. This is the Warrior 2 palette. I don't know what this shade is called, but I want to try to put this under my eyes, because one time I had a makeup artist put this under my eyes and it looked really good. But yeah, I feel like dating for fun can also be fun. I don't have the most experience in that. Like, I've dated some people and they haven't turned into relationships, and I feel like that was a form of like quote unquote dating for fun. But I feel like intentionally dating for something serious is better, because you get to authentically like be yourself, and you get to be like vulnerable to a level that you wouldn't do if you're like, oh, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time type of mentality. And that's just not me. I'm just more of a like date with intention type of woman. And so yeah, you just have to know yourself and know what you like. But if you're younger, like I would say if you're maybe like in your early, like let's say you're like 18, 19, 20, like you really want to know who you are before you start to date serious, but still still conduct yourself in a way that is like, okay, like I'm enjoying life experiences and like the fruits of who I am and my pretty privilege and all the things, but don't get carried away and don't be reckless. Be very calculated and very intentional about who you are dating, and don't just date someone who you couldn't see you having a good relationship with. And don't just like fall into like bullshit situationships or like anything like that, but still enjoy yourself, you know? Okay, this question says, is being single something you see as a chance to grow or more like waiting for your future partner? Both. Okay. Being single right now, my definition is literally just like growing myself as a young woman and just really growing into like the person that I'm meant to be. And I'm also waiting for my man to come get me, like my husband to, for us to like be in the same place at the same time and be like, oh my goodness, you're the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Because you don't want to just be waiting and not building who you are as a woman while you're single. You want to be maximizing on all of your opportunities and doing what is best for you in terms of career and travels and living your life and having experiences and just having a meaningful impact on the world as you know it. Like, that is what you want to do when you're single. You don't want to just be waiting around for the man to come and rescue you. Like, you need to have your own life, your own ambitions, and your own things. And I truly believe along the way of you building your dream life is when you're going to meet your man, because you're finally in the place where you're proud of like what you're doing or what you've done, and you've been intentional in your pursuit at being happy within yourself. You have to be content and grateful in your own life to really attract, I would think, the man that you want. That's hot, like my philosophy on my life. And so yeah, don't just wait. Like, one monkey don't stop the show. Like, just because you don't have a man in your life right now doesn't mean that your life isn't like continuously growing, because you shouldn't just be waiting on a man to be your everything. Like, you need to be like out there and exploring all the things about you. Okay, next question. What standard or expectation do you feel pressured by the most? Damn, this is a good question. Well, thanks for asking, Khadijah. I would say a standard that I feel most pressure by would be to be the perfect woman, in terms of like wanting to cook and clean, like wanting to do that for your husband, like wanting to like know they want you to be top chef, know how to cook, clean the whole house, stay sexy, stay fit, all the things, and have these very like motherly things about you while still looking good, staying fit, taking care of the hypothetical kids, and shutting up and doing all of these things, and without like while or without being a trailblazer in like your own capacity. And what I mean by that, if that's a little bit confusing, is just like, I think there's so much pressure on the woman to just have everything together. And while yes, women, we're superhumans, literally, like we give birth to the future generations, but it's just so much pressure to have everything together in your life. There's so much responsibility on us as single women, and even just like us like being groomed and like being all put together and perfect for your future partner. Like my dad, he'll say things like, oh, well, you better learn how to cook, or your husband's not gonna wanna blah blah, or you're not gonna be able to get a husband, and things like that. And like, I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna fucking hire a chef then. Like, why is me like cooking and cleaning like the basis of being a good wife and a good husband? And I get it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've played into that standard. Like, I like to cook, thank God, but there's some women that don't like to cook. And I'm sure there's plenty of women that have men that, and their man is like not requiring them to cook. Matter of fact, their man is probably cooking for them. I've dated plenty of guys that have cooked for me, you know, and fucking did my laundry and did all the things. And in the same instant, like, I do agree, like, you're never gonna be the perfect person. And I feel like just as we grow as women, it's just kind of exhausting for that to be the standard of like, if you're a good wife, is like, okay, can you cook or you clean? Like, people should be asking deeper questions than do you know how to cook and do you know how to clean? Like, I feel like as humans, the human standard should be to know how to cook and to know how to clean. If you don't know how to keep yourself alive and keep yourself well groomed with good hygiene, babe, I just don't know if your parents did a good job at all. Or if you like, there's cooking TikTok, there's cleaning TikTok, like, please be so for real. So I think just in terms of like being the perfect woman is very exhausting, and yet I would say I still play into that. I still have this like expectation for myself where I'm like, if I don't work out, I have this level of guilt to me, or if I eat something bad, I have a level of guilt to me, or if I feel like, oh my gosh, like I don't know this recipe off of the back, like the top of my mind, I feel like, it just for some reason makes you feel like, okay, maybe like I need to do more, or maybe I'm not doing enough, or whatever it is. So I think that's a standard that can be daunting and exhausting, especially like navigating through the world. And there's all of these like requirements that people expect of us, when really a lot of us are just still figuring out lots of things in our own lives and taking care of us. So it just kind of, in a sense, gives a pass. Like, the potential man or the man that comes into your life is going to have less of a responsibility for like the household duties in a way. And where I don't believe that that's real, because I've seen men be lazy and they're like, oh, like it's not my job to cook or clean or whatever. But I feel like that genuinely comes with the dynamic of your relationship, and also, and to so many levels, the financial condition of where you guys are. Because the type of man that I'm going to marry, like, yeah, we're gonna have a budget for a house cleaner and for a chef and all the things. And that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna step in and I'm not gonna do those things, but that just means that it is what it is. Like, I just am not gonna have that to do every single time. So I don't know, there's just so many certain like pressures that come with being a woman, essentially. Okay, I like this question. This question says, what's your idea of a perfect first date? Fun, relaxed, flirty, or adventurous? Can we have a combination? I feel like my perfect first date, Ooh, what is my perfect first date, love? My perfect first date would probably be very flirty. Because I love to flirt. Who doesn't want to flirt, you know? Wait, where is my... I'm going to go in with the pink. Well, I want to go in with my... I'm going to go in with this Chanel powder. And then I'm going to go in with the Infallible. But yeah, I think my perfect first date is definitely flirty and relaxing more so. I love the idea of just being able to relax and maybe like enjoy just like a great dinner. Maybe like a spa moment, or just like being able to sit and connect. Because I feel like when you're in a relaxed environment, you're able to connect. But I feel like a good second date is like something adventurous, because it gives you the opportunity to be able to bond with the man, and you can just see how he is like under stress, which I feel like adventure brings a little bit of stress. So I would think those are my ideas of two dates, but definitely always a bit of like flirty energy, low ambiance, just to kind of see how they are, because then it gives you an opportunity to see if you want to see more of their side when they're stressed and how they operate. And I feel like adventure also brings lots of like laughter too. So I feel like if a man was trying to win me over, he'd probably do something very just like flirty and relaxed with me first. And then he would be like fun and adventurous next, just to kind of have a good balance of the two. It says, what does confidence look like to you? A certain outfit, a mindset, or how you walk into a room? I'm going to say I love all three of those statements about confidence, but I do believe that confidence is how you walk into a room. Damn, now that I'm reading the question back, confidence is a mindset. Everything starts with your mindset. Confidence is mindset, okay? Everything starts with mindset. Mindsets, I got this from a Bob Proctor video on YouTube. So look up Bob Proctor if you want to actually get your mindset together. But 95% of everything is mindset. And then 5% is, what did he say? Is the work or something like that. But mindset is everything. So if you have a mindset and you know you're that bitch, maybe you're going to be that bitch. Like, that's just what it is. And even if you walk into a room or not, people know you're that bitch with that mindset that you have, okay? Or if you don't have that outfit on, you still have that mindset. So I would say that everything is about mindset. And if you feel like, I am that girl, don't play with me. Don't. And if they try it, you just gonna know, like, okay, they're trying it. Also, I'm adding on to bronzer, and we're going to add on our duo palette. But this is the, this is like the bronzer side, not the cream contour. Mindset is everything. Mindset, mindset, mindset. That should be going on in your head. How do I think about this? How do I present? And all of the things under the sun, and like, just like your belief system. Because your belief system carries you, and it completely changes your brain chemistry. The more work and the more intentional that you are with what you think about, what you believe to be true. So definitely mindset. Your mindset is a huge indicator of how successful you'll be. Because if you know, like, oh, my mindset is nothing to be played with, then your mindset is nothing to be played with. And people are going to respect your mindset, because if you have that the right mindset, they're going to sense it in you. They're going to know. By every conversation that you have, by every interaction or every subtlety. So mindset is everything. If you can control your mind and you can get your mind to a place where you truly believe in everything that you do, in every ability, and you have a gratitude mindset and you believe in like the greater good and all of the other complexities of the world or whatever, then yeah, you're gonna literally have such a great life. And you're gonna have all the confidence. You're gonna have every fucking outfit you want. You're gonna be able to walk into every type of room that you want. You know what I mean? This question says, what's the pettiest reason you stop talking to somebody? Oh God, there's... Oh, wait, this is hilarious. There's so many reasons. I will literally stop talking to somebody for the pettiest reason because I'm just like, I don't like how you did that. I don't like that. Oh my God. Okay, this is kind of petty, but I don't really care. I cut off somebody because they didn't get me like morning coffee. And I just felt like that's the least you can do. That's the least you can do. I cut off someone because they didn't give me coffee. And I was just like, you can't get me a coffee? And like, honestly, that's not a petty reason to me, but to somebody else, that could be a petty thing. But I literally was like, this isn't gonna work because like, this is like my level of expectation. And it wasn't even a thought in your mind to do that. And when I had presented that like suggestion, it wasn't something that person was like, okay, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like of course. So I cut somebody off because they didn't buy me a coffee. And that was just the name of the game. And I was like, it's real strict around here. I run a strict program, okay? And if you can't get with the rules and regulations, then you're gonna have to see your way out now. Yeah, oh my gosh. The guy was like, oh my goodness. And I told him later, I was like, this isn't gonna work, blah, 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 whatever. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, I just want to make it up to you and I was just like, no, I don't like this. And granted, there was other things I already was like not feeling, but like, the coffee was the final straw. I was like, you're done. He had about a day and a half. I said, no, thank you. I'm good. Don't worry about me, babe. Au revoir. Bye. So yeah. Okay, this question says, if you had to pick situationship, sneaky link, or celibate queen, which one are you choosing? Bitch, I'm choosing celibate queen. Are you kidding me? I am the celibate queen. I don't need it. I don't want no situationship trauma. I don't want no sneaky link. Hell no. And I definitely am a celibate queen. It's funny because I am literally a celibate queen. I'm good, love. It's just not that serious to me. And like, no shade to people who like need to have sex. It's not that serious to me. Like, I will go without. Trust. Because baby, when my man comes, oh, it's on popping, okay? But a sneaky link, no. This is not college or whatever the hell. This ain't no free-for-all. And then a situationship, hell no. Because a situationship means that somebody wants it and somebody don't. Come on now. That's all the situationship is. So no, I'm good. I'm super good. Thank you. Okay. Next question. I feel like I need to get a little bit further along in my makeup, y'all. I'm gonna add more bronzer to my eyelids. This is one of my favorite things to do, is like bronzer in the crease. It just looks so good to me. Like you see, it just makes such a difference. Okay, this next question says, do you believe in love at first sight, or do you think relationships are built over time? I actually really like this question because I've asked my friends this. I love to like just talk about like hypothetical things, and I now know my answer. I believe in infatuation at first sight. I think that a person can see you. Some of my nose. I think that a person can see you and be so enamored by your beauty and by who you are and your essence and be like, I need to know who this person is. I need to get to know them and I need to win them over and just understand them. But I think that true love, like love, is more so an action than just an emotion. And so I guess the answer to my question is I don't believe in love at first sight, but I do believe that relationships with a good, healthy love are built over time. And yeah, I feel like a person can decide that they are so infatuated with you that they want you to be the love of their life and that they're going to show and prove to you that they are, or you guys are, can be the love of each other's lives through small actions and big actions. Okay, let's do these brows and then I'll answer one of like the last questions. All right, you guys, we're gonna add a little bit of this color in Dara. I just want to use Dara today because I want a very pinky look. So I'm gonna add this to my cheeks. Okay, I'm gonna add this matte color. This is in shade Chestnut to my lip. Oh, this question says, how do you prefer to de-stress when everything feels overwhelming? I really like this question because, wait, let me add my lip first. Okay, I was saying I really like this question because your girl is in school right now and always just thinking about so much and doing so much. And I feel like the way that I de-stress is by journaling, by praying, by going on walks, and also just like getting outside and getting out of my normal environment because I spend a lot of time like just in routine. So I feel like anytime that I get out of my normal routine or I just like get outside or I do things to kind of like move my body, it really helps me to de-stress in just different avenues. And then probably just watching like my comfort show, which is like Gilmore Girls right now. Shout out to all the girls that watch Gilmore Girls. And I was gonna say Sex and the City, but Carrie be stressing me out and I be having to turn that shit off. And listening to Drake. I'm just a girl, okay? So yeah, I like to just do self-care, going to the spa, getting my nails done. Actually, it's time for me to go get my nails. Oh, that would be a really fun activity today. Getting my nails done, doing those types of things make me feel really good. Okay, y'all. The makeup. She's eating. Thank ya. She's eating. She's eating. Okay, I still need to take off the powder, so I'm getting a little too excited. I'm feeling good. Okay, blush. Thank you. The blush is blushing. We're gonna add the MAC Studio Fix Plus as like a final. Also, you guys know what I didn't do that I normally do? I didn't add my little bronzer here how I normally do. I just really like how bronzer up here looks. Okay, we're going to set her with this L'Oreal 3-second setting mist. I should add on my little freckies. I'm gonna use the CoverGirl little thing to do freckles. Should I try to do these? No, I'm gonna just do the one I have here. I think I need a, All right, girls, this is the final look. Thank you so much for staying tuned in with me for my juicy girl talk. I feel like this was a really good one. And let me know if you want to see other talks, because I have a lot of ideas up my sleeve. For those of you who voted on my community posts, keep it coming. I love to post on there. And also you guys get to talk on there too, and like drop down any of your commentary and just talk to me. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe down below. Hit that red button if you want to see more videos like this, and I will catch you in the next time. Bye. Love ya.